I'm Dan. This is my testimony. For a long time, I've been dealing with alcohol abuse. It all started during my time in the military. It's a huge issue around there. A lot of guys drinking. Nobody realizes it because everyone's together all the time. Everyone's having a good time, drinking, Nobody thinks about how it follows you after you're done with your service. I didn't think about it. Well, that caused a huge issue for me. Once I was done with my service, went back home, thought, no plan, just have a good time, find some kind of job and just go on with life. Well, the majority of that was spent with drinking, and for a long time I didn't realize how bad it was going to get. It was just a very steady downhill slope, and I was in constant denial that I had a problem. And it wasn't just the drinking, it was also going through life without God. Caused a lot of issues for me, ruined a lot of relationships, didn't care for anybody. My love for my parents wasn't really there, because I was constantly drunk, just always drinking. Any problem that came up, even a minor inconvenience, it's just drink it away. What could happen? I'll just get drunk. Well, it only got worse and worse. Pushed a lot of good people away out of my life, kept on pushing God away, had no appreciation for anything, constantly angry, depressed, just didn't care about anything. Well, that went on for quite a few years, and it was probably the worst time I ever had in my life. And there was a lot of times where I thought that I was hitting rock bottom. I mean, more than I can count on my fingers and toes. I was wrong. I didn't realize what rock bottom was until a year ago on September 16th. That was rock bottom. And there was a lot of things that happened that led up to that moment where it only came down to two options. Either I die or I live, but I was only locked into one option. So what I ended up doing was told myself, this is the end of the line. Put my uniform on, put some face paint on, went over next to a creek, dug a hole, brought a bunch of liquor with me, and my goal was to just drink until I had the courage to bring myself out of existence. That was the only option that I was dead set on. Well, God had other plans, but at that time I didn't know it. While I was in that hole, there's a lot of things going through my mind, a lot of things that I can't even remember anymore. But in that hole, I was supposed to be dead. I wasn't supposed to be sitting here today. I wasn't supposed to, tell my family I love them anymore. That was supposed to be the end of the line for me. Well, September 16th, Saturday morning, when I was in that hole, a lot of things happened. I was just sitting there, dead quiet, just locked in straight ahead, and all of a sudden there's two bucks that cross the creek. I noticed them from my peripheral vision, crossing from left to the front, and huge splashing caught my attention, but I didn't turn my head, didn't move, nothing, and my head's just barely above this hole. Somehow those two bucks, whenever they crossed, one massive buck, and the biggest buck I've ever seen in my life. And right behind him was a small young buck. And once they got in front of me, big buck turns and just locks eyes with me for a very long time, and felt forever. And there was something going on there. At that moment, I didn't really register or realize exactly what was happening, but something was going on there. And after that moment of just staring at each other, they both just take off. Well, a couple hours later, my dad was looking for me. He was concerned. A lot of people were concerned that I was up to something really crazy, and I was. Well, my dad, he showed up to the creek. He was looking for me. He couldn't find me at all because I'm fully camouflaged, face paint on. It's impossible to see me. Somehow that buck saw me. My dad didn't. He only saw me whenever I stood up and made myself known that I was there. Well, once I saw my dad, I thought, all right, well, what am I gonna do? Just keep sitting here? Got up, left, talked to my dad, told him about everything that's been going on, everything that I've been struggling with. And from that point, my dad said, all right, we're gonna get through this. Let me help you out. Just come over to us. Spend the night with us. We'll go to church in the morning. I think it'll be good for you. And I agreed. I was very nervous about it, but I thought this will be good. Do something different. And that next morning, on Sunday morning, my parents are up, getting ready for church. I'm still in bed. My heart's in pain. My body just doesn't want to get up out of bed. I just didn't want to go anywhere. I thought, I don't need to go to church. I'm just going to keep laying here. My mom prayed for me, and as soon as that happened, just boom, got the strength, got up, got ready, went to church with them. We attended Bible study first before the main service. And I met a lot of great people there. One of those people was Manuel. Manuel was in that class. We talked for a brief moment. He told me some similar struggles that I was dealing with. There's a lot of other people that I talked to in that group that were glad to finally see me, because my parents always told them or asked them to pray for me. And the power of prayer works, because I showed up there. A lot of people were waiting for me to, and they knew that God would answer their prayers. And a lot of great people I talked to. Then we attended the main service. Main service, I just kind of sat there, listened, didn't really do a whole lot, didn't think about a whole lot. Brain's still really foggy. Once service was over, there was a bunch of prayer leaders up front, and my dad looks over at me. He said, let's go up there, let's go pray together. And in my head I thought, no, there's no way. I'm terrified, I'm nervous, I don't want to go up there, I just wanted to go home. But something kicked inside of me and be like, all right, man, like, get up there, like, go. So I did. We went up there. Every prayer member that was up there, they were all taken. They were all busy. Manuel was sitting up front. My dad looks over at him. He said, Manuel, like, can you pray with us? Manuel thought, I'm not a part of the prayer team. But a second later he said, you know what, let's do it. Let's get up and pray. So we started praying together. We're asking God to break me from the chains of addiction, all that alcohol abuse. And there was a lot more people that came in that we were praying together, and the Holy Spirit's doing His work. He's flooding my heart, and all of a sudden it's just boom. I'm bawling my eyes out. Thankful for God. I felt like I was completely liberated, just right there on the spot. And after that, it was a full-on 180. Went back home with my parents. We're all just full of joy. And from that point on, it wasn't a steady transition. Going through withdrawals. I didn't go through any withdrawals at all. And the crazy thing about that was there was a lot of times where I tried to stop drinking on my own, plenty of times on my own, without God, without anybody's help, and I thought I was going to be good. And during those times, whenever I tried to stop drinking, I would go through the absolute worst withdrawals that I've ever experienced in my life, where I'd be curled up, covered in sweat, constantly shaking, and it was just full of pain. I thought, okay, well, I'm not going to go through this, I'm just going to drink. Well, this wasn't the case. Ever since I, gave my life to God on September 17th, no withdrawals, not a single urge, no pain, nothing. It was just clean heart, clean mind. Everything felt amazing. And there's nobody that can do that other than our Father. And nobody can take that from me. Nobody can take that from you. Nobody can ever deny that. If they do, I don't know what to tell you, but power of Christ, it's there, and He's always willing to help. And for the longest time, I always denied it, always pushed Him away, always wanted to be on my own. But that entire time, once I came to God and admitted that I need help, God help me, He came to me. And from that point on, everything changed. To this day, still clean, 10.5 months sober now. Not a single urge to drink. Life's been amazing. And it's thanks to nobody else except God. Because He's the only one that can really help you. That's my testimony.
How was that?
Good, dude. Good.